Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a pretty interesting decision that came out of Indonesia's Constitutional Court, the MK. We've got the official ruling right from their website, actually. It's about the Tasikmalaya Regent election for 2024.
Yeah, and this one, it really zeroes in on a candidate, Ada Susanto, and whether he was even eligible to run.
Okay.
The whole thing hangs on how they counted a previous partial term he served. It gets into the nitty-gritty of what counts as a term.
Right, which sounds like it could set a precedent, potentially.
Exactly. It touches on election law fundamentals that might ripple outwards.
Okay, so let's unpack it. The MK, they partially sided with the petitioners here against the local election commission, the KPU.
That's right. And the big headline, candidate number 3, Ada Susanto. Well, he's disqualified. Can't run for regent this time around.
Wow. Okay. And did it stop there? Or were there other consequences?
Oh, no, it went further. The court actually annulled several KPU decisions, things related to the results,
Yes.
the candidate lists. Yeah.
So a major shakeup for that election then.
Pretty significant reset, yeah.
Now here's a twist I saw. Ad Sugianto is out, but his running mate, Ip Miftahul Paz, he's still in.
Yes, that's right. The running mate remains eligible. So now the political parties that backed them, they've got a job to do.
They need a new candidate for the top spot.
Exactly. They have to nominate a replacement for Ada.
And what about the election itself? Is it just canceled or?
No, the MK ordered a revote, a PSU, Pemungkutan Suara Ulang. Needs to happen pretty quickly, too, within 60 days.
Okay.
And obviously, Ada Sugianto won't be on that new ballot. But interestingly, they'll use the original voter lists from back in November.
So let's get to the core reason. Why was he disqualified? What was the issue with his previous time in office?
Well, it all boils down to that first period he served as regent, before he won the election in 2020 fair and square.
Right. He served a full term after that.
Correct. But before that, he stepped in when the previous regent left to become vice governor.
Ah, okay. Midterm replacement situation.
Precisely. And the key bit of evidence the MK focused on was this official instruction, a radiogram from the West Java governor back in September 2018.
And what did that say?
It basically told Ada Sugianto to, carry out the day-to-day duties of the regent, kind of kick things off officially in the court's view.
And this kind of ruling, this way of thinking about partial terms, it wasn't totally out of the blue for the MK, was it?
No, not at all. They actually cited 4 of their own past decisions, cases where they'd already established this principle.
Which is?
That if someone serves as a regional head for more than 2 years and 6 months, so half a term plus a bit, it counts as a full term for eligibility purposes. Doesn't matter if it's acting or definitive or filling in.
2.5 years is the magic number?
That's the threshold.
Yeah.
It's about when someone is, realistically and factually doing the job, as they put it.
So how did they land on the specific timing for Ada Sugianto's first period? I heard there were different calculations floating around.
Yeah, there were. The petitioners argued it was longer. The KPU argued it was shorter. But the MK looked closely. They used that September 5th, 2018 radiogram as the start date.
Okay.
And then, crucially, they considered testimony from the former regional secretary who confirmed the handover date was March 23rd, 2021.
Right. And the total time between those dates?
Came out to 2 years, 6 months, and 18 days.
Just over the 2.5-year mark.
Exactly. Just squeaked over it. But over it nonetheless.
So under their own precedent, that counts as term 1, and then he served the full term he won in 2020.
Making it term 2. And the limit is 2 terms.
Which means he's ineligible for 2024. It all clicks into place.
Precisely. The MK's calculation was decisive, even though others argued slightly different dates.
So I guess the big takeaway here is really paying attention to how long someone actually serves, even if it's filling a vacancy. Those partial terms can absolutely count towards the limit.
Definitely. It's less about the formality of winning an election for that specific term, and more about the substance, the period you actually held the power and responsibility of the office. That radiogram became key evidence for the start of that substantial period.
Yeah, that's quite specific. So thinking ahead, this must have implications for future races, right? When leaders move up or step down midterm.
Oh, absolutely. It adds a layer of complexity. Parties might need to think carefully about who they appoint as acting heads, knowing it could impact future runs. Potential candidates themselves need to track this closely.
It really emphasizes how crucial those handover dates and the specific nature of the authority given can be, something to watch in local politics moving forward.
For sure. A really interesting case study in how constitutional courts interpret these term limits in practice.
Well, thanks for breaking that down. Definitely gives us some food for thought on how these rules play out on the ground.